With Latrice Curry, Thursdays at 5.
3+U, as you know, is intended to be a community show. Sometimes that means bringing you up close and personal with fun events happening in the community, a play that's about to open. Sometimes, though, it's to talk about the heart of the community and what makes us a stronger place for the people who can be the most vulnerable in it. Pam Ladd is doing that each and every day. She is the CEO for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Adults. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for having us.
I did not realize this until I knew that you were coming my way, that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I guess we talk thankfully, about domestic violence on a pretty regular basis, but I didn't realize that it had a month put aside.
It does indeed, and normally we have some other activities, and we'll have a proclamation with both mayors at the courts building, but with the pandemic, we have had to not have as many activities and get together, but we want to make sure the public does know that this is Domestic Violence Month and make you aware of some of the important information and the impact that it has in our community.
Well, you mentioned the pandemic, so let's start with that, because that's the headline in the world in which you live, because it really put a lot of people in danger more than they were before. They're quarantined at home. Domestic violence was on the rise.
Yes, Julie, they were with their abusers more, not as able to get out and reach out and make a phone call to our hotline, not able to have encouragement by friends and family that they may be in danger and that they need to discuss their situation. So it did have an impact on people's ability to do an outreach for safety. And with the pandemic, we've had to reduce the numbers of individuals that we can have in our shelter. And we shelter men, women, and children of custodial parents when they need protection in a domestic violence situation. And because of COVID, we've had to reduce the amount of individuals that we have at the shelter. We are actually over capacity for our pandemic cutoff.
So what you're doing right now is you're reaching out to a network of other shelters that you have, and when possible, you're sending people outside of Chattanooga.
Correct. We work real closely with other shelters across the United States, and we assess each situation to see what is your risk and can you stay with someone else, and then assist you with a safety plan. But even if you're not with us in our shelter, we provide you casework. We'll do court advocacy for you, with you,
Right.
and then we'll also do a safety plan.
So is one of the problems, Pam, how you define and identify domestic violence? Because there are a lot of women, it can happen to men too.
Correct.
Are they living with it not knowing that they are because he's not hitting them yet?
There's a lot of dismissal of behavior, that this is normal. They just get angry and they get over it. But there are some signs, and there's some questions you should ask yourself. Am I being bullied? Am I being accused of having an affair? Am I being put down all the time?
Controlled?
Control of my money.
Oh.
Control on who I can see. Are you free to see your family and friends and make phone calls out? So it's a very controlling, it's all about control.
Right.
And so if you begin to see some of those signs in your domestic relationship with an intimate partner, then you should really evaluate those signs.
Isn't it also, though, about trust then when it comes to getting help? Because you're obviously going to be a little bit afraid of the abuser. You can't really risk getting help from somebody who you can't trust.
Julie, that's a big part of our issue here, is how do I break loose? And how dangerous is it if I do reach out? We have a hotline number, 755-2700, and call us. We will ask you protective questions. Can we call you back on this number? Are you in immediate danger? Are children involved? What's your situation? And then we'll begin to talk with you about a safe way to make that break and to get in touch with us or come in and see us.
You know, so often you just see things on TV shows that are not accurately reflective. But if somebody had literally a minute or two in the car and they called you, but then the person's coming back and they can't stay on the phone, what do y'all do in a situation like that? You can't risk calling the woman back on that phone, right?
Our caseworkers are trained and immediately finding out what your situation would be, and then how's the safest way to reach back to you if we get cut off.
Okay.
And we'll get your number, and we'll do our best to be back in touch.
In terms of, we have about a minute left, the transport you do and helping place women in other shelters away, that takes money. Are y'all ever looking for donation dollars if people want to give?
We always look for donation dollars. Of course, we're grant funded, it's federally funded, and that assists us with helping the clients if they need travel. But just to keep our doors open. Our grant doesn't cover everything. We are not fully funded by grants, and so it's nice when the community reaches out and supports us and helps us make sure that we're there tomorrow.
And just because you're looking at somebody smiling at the mailbox does not mean that there's not a problem when she closes that front door?
Absolutely. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience severe domestic intimate partner issues during their lifetime.
That's
so
a
it's people
staggering-
we know.
That's a staggering number.
It absolutely is.
All the more reason to have the Awareness Month. Pam, great to see you.
Thank you so much, Julie.
You can always learn more, too, by going to the Partnership's website. It's there on your screen. And again, that phone number for the hotline number, 423-755-2700. Call if you need help.
You love where you live and know you're not ready for a move.